This is the official welcome, so welcome. There's still, I believe, a ton of food left in the commons, so please don't feel obligated to stay glued to your chair. If you want to go get something else to eat or drink, please, by all means. Those of you that have never been here before, and this is your first trip to the banquet, this is going to take a little while. Okay? This evening is a very special evening in the life of the Houston County Band Program. It has been 10 years that we've been doing this. This is banquet number 10, and that's for a lot of places that's not a big deal, but for here, as many directors that have come through this program in the last 56 years. For anybody to be here more than 2 and get anything done in 2 years, but for us to build something that lasts for 10 years, it takes a lot of people to make that happen. And this evening, we are very fortunate, I guess, to have some people from the past that are with us. I'm just going to go through the ones that I saw, and if I miss someone, please grab my attention. From the class of 2006, Mr. Ben Richardson and Nathan Lill. Stand please, gentlemen. These two guys, and I can go ahead and say this, y'all can sit down now. But I'll go ahead and say this. Some of you may have heard me mention once upon a time about the 11. The 11 from 2003. The 2 of them were 2 of the 11. And the 2 of them, along with a couple other people in their class in particular, the class of 2006, I think can be viewed as reasons why we are where we are now. They helped to lay a foundation that we have been building upon for the last several years. Let's see, then I think we had class of 2009 would be next, and that's Athena Rye. She's no stranger to anybody, or it shouldn't be. And then class of 2011, 100% of that class is here this evening. Ashley Lill, Jeremiah Jane, actually no, I haven't seen Colton. Jeremiah Colton here? Not live, 100% of the class isn't here. And Lake Baggett, business brother. And then we have a ton of last year's seniors. If you were a senior last year, please stand. Ms. Mitchell, Amber, Taylor, Larry. I don't know if I missed anybody. All right. So it's cool to have some old folks back that have been here the last 10 years. Before we move on, there are some people I need to thank, and I lost my notes. Terrific. Oh, there we go. First, Kendall Coleman and Terry McMillan, they were responsible for getting the desserts and the drinks and everything set up in the Commons this afternoon. Melinda Conwell, she sort of ran those tablecloths for us this evening. And I believe, and Melinda, correct me if I'm wrong, if I missed somebody, Aaron Baptist Church, Paul Bailey, the Houston County FCE, and Aaron Methodist Church. Did I miss anybody? So if you see any folks with those organizations, please be sure to tell them thank you, because there would have been no way that we could have put tablecloths on all these tables, because the Houston County High School owns 6, including this one. Then the Houston County Band Boosters were the ones that provided the drinks and the desserts. We changed formats this year. In years past, we normally, the boosters provide the meat, and then everybody else brings drinks, desserts, and sides, and I think this worked out a lot better. So I think this will be the way it will be from now on. All of this stuff doesn't happen by chance. All these tables don't get in here, all these chairs don't get in here, all these centerpieces don't get in here without an army of people. I don't want to go through and name all the students that helped today, but we literally started working at 7:45 this morning. We took a break for lunch at 3rd block, and then we got back to it at 4th block. It could not have been done without the high school band kids, so thank you to all of you for the work that you did today. the most important thank you of all for this banquet. Actually, I got one more and then I'll come back to that one. Elizabeth Martin is responsible for a lot of the table decor, the centerpieces and whatnot, and she's a huge supporter of the band program. So if you know Miss Elizabeth, please pass your thanks on to her. And then the most important thank you of all, and I will probably thank this individual again before the night is over, Miss Stacy Smith. She's responsible for the slideshow and all the media this evening. So, let's talk about this year, shall we? In the 10 years that I've been here, there's only been one year, I think, that was more traumatic than this one. Richard, the chicken's in the comments. Where's he going? Anyway, trauma. For those of you that were not aware, and if you were not aware, you were blind. This year for me physically was probably the hardest year I've ever had. We got started to a very strong start at the beginning at band camp, and the first month of school went great. And then September hit, and I looked like a Muppet. It was great though, because I was tan all the way through November. It was wonderful. But I appreciate everybody's willingness to work through that. I know that was an inconvenience for everybody involved, having a director that may or may not make it through marching season. But y'all persevered, and we were able to do some pretty amazing things this year. No, we didn't take a first place in class this year. So what? When it was all said and done, we were 6th in the state. That's our highest ranking ever. When it was all said and done, and we got to Gateway results and Gateway auditions in February, I believe we put 16 kids in. We had the 3rd highest number of high school kids and the 3rd highest number of middle school kids out of 11 schools in both high school and middle school. So that is something that we can do. And then, let's just face it, we played some pretty difficult music this year, which I hope stretched everybody and made you guys feel like you were able to do things that you may not have been able to do before. This has been a rough year. It's been a rough year for me. It's been a rough year for a lot of people. But we come to a point in the year where we pause and we look back and we say, despite all the challenges and despite all the hardships, we've made progress and we've done great things. I tell this story every year. I'm going to tell it again. In 2004, we had our first band banquet. In 2004, Nathan was there, Ben was there, I was there. And where the serving line is right now, none of that was there. If you were to come through Houston County High School on any given day of the week, you'll see the way the Commons is set up for lunch every day. And in 2004, that's what the banquet looked like. There was about 15, 20 people, maybe. A couple of boxes of chicken, a couple of pies, and we were just sitting around the table shooting the bull. And that's the way it was for the first 2 years. In 2006, we moved the banquet to City Hall. I'm not sure why. Why not? And that was actually the Wimberley's first banquet, and we'll talk about. I may bring up a story from that here in a minute when we have Richard's roast. And then in 2007, we moved the banquet here, and I don't know where we're going to have it next year because I think Scott, how many seats did we figure? 240. 240. 240, and there's less than 10 seats left. And that is a credit to this program and what we have built over the last decade. 10 years ago, I never would have imagined that we would be here. I am very proud to have been the director for the last 10 years. It has been something that has been a pleasure in my life, personally and professionally. And I appreciate the work that everybody has done for the last decade to get us where we are. But we're not going to worry about the decade all night. However, I would like to take a moment. Dustin, if you'll dim the lights. We actually have another slideshow with pictures from the last 10 years. Stacy, do I need to narrate through here and talk to people? Okay, wonderful. Okay, the first year was 2003, 2004. We don't have any pictures from that hardly at all. They're newspaper clippings. Okay, I had 2 seniors that year. We with every year we list the seniors. So continue. If you've been in my office, you've seen that photo. Hey, look, I had liver failure then too. What do you know? It's been a 10-year problem. Well, I was 21 at that point, so it probably was beginnings of cirrhosis. All right. Year number 2, Disney Field of Dreams. That was the first show that we went away from band camp. There's the drum major, Johnny Tubbs, one of the greatest saxophone players I've ever had. This would have been Nathan and Ben's junior year. That cabin should look familiar. Yep, that's the entire marching band right there. That's it. Our percussion section's doing that now.
Is that the same bells?
That's the same bells, yep. And look, the keys were missing then too, so. All right. Yeah, there it is. That's the entire marching band right there. So sad. Okay, not a lot can be said about that year. I think there were 23 people total. All right, then the next year, those were our seniors in 2005. Then we moved to the next year. Okay. Yep. Okay, the third year, that would have been Nathan and Ben's senior year. We did a Spanish show, and the classes begin to get larger. Okay? That's a great picture. Aren't we glad we don't have those uniforms anymore? Okay? Then the fourth year is when we got the new uniforms, the ones that we are in now, the Russian portraits year. We had 2 seniors that year. And this, I believe, is where we start actually having pictures for real. Marching band still not very large, and the guard's still not together. And that's... Go back to that one. Go back to that one. Scott, that's you if you continue on the path you're on, right there. And yes, that is a female standing next to me. I know that if you look at the head, you can't tell.
Why do you do that?
Continue. Okay, and looking at the ground is still a problem. As you can see, the person on the front row here in the middle, apparently she needs to check to make sure her feet are still there. Okay, then one of my favorite shows that we ever did, the Who Done It show, or as we were all afraid that Mr. Clagren would pronounce it at the stadium, Hootin' It. Get it, Hootin' It. We had 2 seniors that year, Laura and Mark. Mark was the drum major. And this was the first year we went to camp at Austin Peay. And so here's some pictures of that. Or a picture of that. That's a great picture. Oh, there we go. And that's when we started bringing home hardware. That year, we actually won every contest that we went to. We beat one band so badly that they just handed us the trophy after they got off the field. We beat them by 11 points. It's pretty great. And it was the first time that we finished in the top 10 in finals at Division I, coming in 8th place overall with the 4th highest music score. Okay, then the worst idea I ever had, the Beatles. Let's just skip through this. Pictures? Yes, that's nice. Keep going. Okay. A lot of seniors that year. This group of seniors were the first group of beginners that I ever had. They were in 7th grade the first year I was here. So that class was kind of special. And they loved me so much that they decided to choke me, and then I was thankful. Okay, we continue. This was Athena's senior year. And this was the other bad idea that I had this year was a brown shirt.
Oh, I still have that.
Never again. Okay, then we go to probably probably my second favorite show that we ever did. Are You Scared Yet? We went back to Austin Peay this year. A lot of seniors that year. That was a good class. Terrible picture. I have a really terrible looking toupee in that picture, it looks like. There's the guard. Okay. That was the March concert that year, complete with pageant decorations. Fabulous. Okay. Then we go to Broadway. Really strange shirt. A lot of that class is here this evening. And that's a very large group, come a long way from 11. Made finals that year at state. Yeah, there's not much I can say about that. And then that, okay, continuing. And there's our Halloween game. Where's Waldo? Find Waldo. Okay. And 3 guard. We had 3 guard for a really long time. Still 3 guard. And Jeremiah. Band horns up, Jeremiah. Nope. Never. Then the show that I changed to in the middle of the summer. I'm sure that made a lot of people angry. Last year's seniors. Okay. Still 3 guard. Still 3. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes. You are going the wrong direction. The audience is the other way. Alright, and there's another costume game. Ray. I think that was the year I dressed up as Static Cling. Oh God, I'm glad I don't have that many chins anymore. That's pretty great. I'm down to 1.5, thank you. And then we move to this year. And this year's large. This represents the largest senior class that I ever had. Yeah, and look at the guard. There's more than 3, but they still work together. I will always say that. Okay. So as you can see, we've come a very, very long way over the last 10 years, and I hope that those of you that have been around a while, I know we have a lot of siblings, and families that have been here for 9 or more years. I hope that it's been an adventure that you have enjoyed. It's been fun for me, and I'm sure it will continue the next decade. Whoever is here in 10 years, hopefully they will be able to say 10 years from now, when they have the 20th banquet, that the foundation that all of us have laid is still in place. So congratulations on a decade of excellence. I hold in my hand the 2013 edition of the GAG Awards. A tradition that we began in 2007, that was the 4th year I was here, was the Hospital Awards. is the award that you don't really want to get, but if you end up going to the hospital at some point during a band function, you are guaranteed to get this award. In 2007, it seemed like everyone was going to the hospital. Incidentally, that was the last year that we went to Hickory Hills. And look, what do you know? We have a huge stack of hospital awards. The year we went back to Hickory Hills. Guess where we're not going this summer? Hickory Hills. Okay, the first GAG award, or the first hospital award, goes to someone who wasn't here. I believe she had suffered a concussion prior to band camp and then had to go to the hospital during band camp because she blacked out. With the Patient's Choice Medical Center Award, Miss Alyssa Patterson. And then one of the scariest moments I've had with a kid, hospital-wise, because no one could figure out what was wrong. All we knew was he was fine in Centerville, and by the time we got back to Clarksville, he didn't know where he was, and every hole in his face had a grape in it. And he had some less than appropriate things drawn in his forehead. That's all I'm saying. Houston County High School Band presents Scott Smith with the Gateway Medical Center Award. Who's our photographer this evening? Okay, she's right there. Lottie Da, watch your hand. Then, while we were at band camp this year, I had to take two girls to Dixon at like 11 o'clock at night. One of them was at 11, and towards 11, and one was, we didn't get back until 11. It was terrific. The one thing about going to Dixon that late at night, Burger King's drive-thru is open, and it's right across from the hospital, and they're right, Dustin? So the next two hospital awards, the first one goes to Dakota Sprague, the second one goes to Christian Lobby with the Veronica Medical Center Award. Hurry up, Kristen, we don't want to be here all night. Finally, people I'm taller than. Okay, turn to Terry. Pretend like we like each other. Terry's right there. Where's Christy Ross? Come here, Christy. I'm going to let you present this one. I think you owe it to him.
I think I do too.
State championships. We're getting ready for pass and review. It's about 20 degrees outside. And our next award recipients, oh my God, something's wrong. We thought we've already had one case of appendicitis this year, why not another one? Turns out he just had to fart. Houston County Band presents Dakota Elliott with the Middle Tennessee Medical Center Award. Christy's the one that took it. And our final hospital award, this is an exciting one because we've never given out an award for this hospital. This is a first. We actually did have a legitimate case of appendicitis in band camp. And for the first time ever, I get to give an award for Vanderbilt Children's Hospital to Thomas Jackson. One of the biggest people in the room goes to the Children's Hospital. Okay, and that's the hospital awards. Now, this year, I don't think it was planned on the GAG Awards, but it sort of happened that way, that they sort of have a theme. And there are a lot of awards that are very similar that sort of go together. So, we're going to stay in injury land for just a little while. And I don't think this next award recipient is here, so I'll have to have somebody accept on her behalf. And I don't think that when I say her and injury, I don't think I have. I don't have to say who it is. We probably already know, right? Never in a million years have I ever seen someone who is broken more than Harley McClure. Chevelle, where's Chevelle at? Is there a bone that she hasn't broken yet? If you have to think, then she's broken too many. Do what? Her skull, well, I'm sure it's coming. She has to. Yeah, unless she goes around with a bike helmet, Scott. Hey, we covered the windows with the curtains just for you. So, yeah. Good thing we didn't serve soup. That's an inside joke. You'd have to. Never mind. But Harley, God bless her brain. And I figured she would be here this evening, but she probably fell on the way. Harley McClure gets the Accident Waiting to Happen Award. Chevelle, can you please come accept this on her behalf? Go to band camp, they said. It'll be fun, they said. You'll learn your drill, they said. Get appendicitis and have to have surgery, they said. For those of you that have never been to Hickory Hills, consider yourselves lucky. How anybody could get appendicitis at Hickory Hills, I have no idea, because it deals with digestion and whatnot, and there's no discernible food to speak of at Hickory Hills, actually. But apparently, this individual enjoyed it so much that he wanted to leave. The Houston County High School Band presents Thomas Jackson with the Hickory Hills Was So Bad I Got Appendicitis So I Could Leave Award. Should have known it was coming. Let's talk for just a moment about our friend, the cow. And no, Victoria, this is not an award for you. This is not the Beef Camp Award. Let's talk for just a moment about our friend, the cow. Cows are, among all things, delicious.
Amen.
Some people think they're cute. But apparently, as several, I guess several now is defined as two individuals have learned very recently, cows are also very dangerous. The last time I checked, the only time cows were dangerous were when you didn't cook them long enough, or if you were in Pamplona running with the bulls. But apparently, you don't have to go to Pamplona to run with the bulls to get injured by a cow. You just have to go right down the street. Because you can get your ankle stepped on and end up in a wheelchair, or you can get the tendon in your forearm ripped off to where you can't do anything. I imagine the two of them will become vegetarians after this, and John Clay, I'm sorry, the stage is not handicap accessible. The Houston County High School Band presents John Clay Coleman and Jordan Reedy with the Cattle Casualty Award.
I hate this. You didn't used to be taller than me.
Use my strong hand.
And now, boys and girls, it's story time. Several of you have seen this book on my desk and have wondered, what in the world does Three Billy Goats Gruff have to do with the banquet? Well, now you're going to find out. This is the Three Billy Goats Gruff told marching band style. Bless you. Is that? Oh, okay, never mind. We'll be here for a while. Just step outside if you're going to be doing all that. Once upon a time, in the magical land of Dixon, there was a band camp called Hickory Hills. And at this band camp was a creek running right through the middle of camp. And the only way to cross this creek was an old rickety wooden footbridge. And at band camp at Hickory Hills, one of the bands had to go across the footbridge because that's where their rehearsal facility was. However, when you got to the footbridge, it was guarded by a clarinet-playing troll. And she sat at that footbridge every day, just watching people come by, playing the same 6 measures over and over. And unlike the original story, where the troll comes out and says, "Who is that going trip-trap on my bridge?" all this troll would do is da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And I wanted the troll to kill me after having to hear that for 4 days. And that concludes the story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff. The Houston County Band presents Katrina Dew with the You Shall Not Pass Award. The troll showed up this evening too. You know, it's not really polite to make fun of people for things they can't help that's wrong with them, unless it's Scott. But, you know, there's one individual that has a problem that she can't really help. But, you know, it wastes so much time in rehearsal. So much time. We're starting at measure such and such. Where? Measure such and... I didn't hear you! Ethan, tell her what measure we're starting on. We're starting here, Victoria, right there, where my finger is. Where are we starting, Ethan? I'm sitting right next to you. Look at my finger. The Houston County Band presents Victoria Coleman with the Hand Award.
Since then.
Yet you're still screaming like you can't hear. The wonderful thing about being director at the middle school and the high school is that I get to see siblings in pairs, or in some cases quadruples, in the case of the Colemans, every day. I get to see all 4 Colemans.
Hey, not every day.
Every day, well,
Not every day.
and I have it marked on my calendar every Tuesday with a big 3. And if you've ever been around the Coleman clan, you know they are not very nice to each other. Am I right or wrong? Because Alexander's the oldest, and he gets whatever he wants because he's the oldest. And John plays the baby, so he gets whatever he wants. And then there's the 2 in the middle. And obviously, because Victoria has already gotten her gag award, Catherine has probably figured out that this one's for her. Now, if you've ever seen, my voice just cracked. I'm 31 years old. I should not be going through puberty again. Maybe I'll finally hit 6 foot after this. Anyway, if you've ever been around Victoria and Catherine, Victoria is the meanest big sister I've ever seen, and poor Catherine just sits there and takes it. She really does. And it's always about something stupid.
Yes.
Usually about chickens, cows, goats. Did you feed them? No, Catherine, I told Bubba to do it. Well, he didn't do it. That's your job. No, Catherine. I'm going to yell at you because I'm Victoria and I'm deaf and can't hear. So I'm going to scream. And I'm going to make you feel bad. Ah! Catherine Coleman gets the Victoria's Punching Bag Award.
True, I know. You can thank Stacy for that.
You're supposed to smile.
She's afraid that if she smiles that Victoria might hit her.
Hey, Ethan, where you at? Next time when I tell you to pledge the front of the stage, this is the front. There is a spot right here that I keep sliding on. Yes, I'm aware. Speaking of siblings, this individual isn't here, and neither is his older sister because she's in the Air Force in Nebraska. If you ever saw the way that Katie and Joe were when Katie was still here, she's the second meanest big sister in the world. She was just hateful to Joe. Always calling him names and just trying to make him feel bad because he was short and fat. He's not here, so I won't say much about it, but Joe Gray gets the I Dare Katie to Pick on Me Now award. Now there's a set of siblings that are really great to each other. They are probably the nicest set of siblings I have ever seen in my entire life. Except when it comes to waking up in the morning. You're darn right, Logan and Kaylee. Because anybody that knows Logan, or has been around Logan, or who has traveled with Logan, knows that you have to build in an extra 30 minutes for Logan. And poor Kaylee is one of the most well put together people in the entire world, hair, makeup, whatever. But she has told me on more than one occasion, and it has been verified by both of their parents, that it takes Logan longer to get ready than it does for Kaylee. That in the mornings, Kaylee will wake up, then go and wake Logan up, go and get ready, and then have to go and wake Logan up again. Logan will go and finally get ready, and while Logan's getting ready, Kaylee's making breakfast. Is that about right? about this for just a second. Kaylee is an airhead. And she's the one taking care of her brother, who graduated top 10% of his class, or will graduate in the top 10% of his class, because he can't take care of himself. Is that all right? Houston County High School Band presents Kaylee Callis with the Logan's Alarm Clock Award. Now, as I was saying a minute ago, there's a reason you have to build in extra time for Logan. And there's a reason that Kaylee has to be his alarm clock. Imagine, if you will, you're at Mid-State, and one of your kids is the first chair horn player in the Mid-State band. And you have to be at rehearsal at 9 o'clock. Picture that, if you will. Okay? And as the director, you walk next door to that kid's room at 8:30. Because it only takes 10 minutes to get to MTSU from the hotel. You go at 8:30, they give you 20 extra minutes. And at 8:30, you call the room. And no one answers. And you call the room again. And no one answers. And then you go next door. And then you see the following. Pretend this is a door. What, Mr. Witt? Logan, we have to be in rehearsal in 30 minutes. Okay. No hurry at all. None. None. I go back over there 15 minutes later. He actually walks to the door this time. Are you ready yet, Logan? Almost. Can we stop and get breakfast? No, Logan. We have to be there in 15 minutes. Okay. Still no hurry. 9:05, we get to MTSU. He's 5 minutes late. And usually you get demoted to the bottom of your section if you're late. I guess fortunately for Logan, it was the day of the concert, and so they didn't want a new first chair horn player. He gets out of the van. Still no hurry. But here's the kicker. This wasn't the first time that happened this year. When we went to Mid-State auditions, a group of us stayed in a hotel because we went to Tennessee Tech the day before. I told them we were leaving at 7:30 in the morning. I go and beat on the door at 7:25 to see if they're ready. All three of them are still in the bed. All three of them. And guess who the last one to get ready was? Logan. He had his final band concert on Tuesday night. I said to be here at 5:30. He gets here at 10 till 6. Logan, your mother cannot go with you to UT Martin next year. She cannot. Okay? She and I have had this discussion. She has thought about taking a year sabbatical to make sure that you got to class on time. Do you really want to do that to your mother? Houston County High School Band presents Logan Callis with the Rip Van Winkle Award. For those of you who don't know, Rip Van Winkle is just for 10 years. Don't worry. 10 years later.
Hurry up!
All right.
To be late and stylish.
And Logan, the bashing on you is not, you can go sit down, but we're not done bashing on Logan. There's one more. Now, before Logan, the person who was always late was Larry. And with Larry being late, Zach was also late. Now, there's some argument as to who was the cause of them. Was it Zach? Was it Larry? Or was it Jennifer? I have no idea. But I did notice that with Larry's graduation, Zach's attendance and punctuality improved 1,000%. Zach was almost always here on time. It's your fault.
I noticed.
So did we. The Houston County High School Band presents Zach Robertson with the "Come on, Logan, if I can show up on time, so can you" award. It has your brother's face on it.
Yay, I get to hang him on my wall.
Sure. You should put the nail right through his face.
He's going to see the love spot.
You pointed that out. Senior citizens are no laughing matter. Wait, yeah, they are. Just kidding. Senior citizens are no laughing matter unless they're in a Pixar film. And you know, it's amazing that we have 8th graders who look like 80-year-old men, even without a costume. But yet, when they put the costume on, the resemblance is uncanny. Stacy, I wish you had one of Cooper not in costume available, because I mean, anybody knows Cooper said that the only thing that's different is the hair.
He's here.
I know he's here. I know he's here. I've spoken to them this evening. I'm just saying, if you know Cooper, about the only thing that's different is the glasses and the hair. I mean, you know, that's about how Cooper dresses. Well, yeah, and he's not that big. But, I mean, seriously, the resemblance is ridiculous. The Houston County High School Band presents Cooper Morris with the Little Old Man Award.
Got the same expression.
Well, we made fun of little old men. Now we're going to make fun of little old lady. This individual has had a theme in his gag awards for the last couple years, and has had a theme pretty much in the way that everybody talks to him in the last couple years. One of my favorite names for him is the Nagatron 3000. And if you ever talk to this person, he nags worse than a woman and is all up in everybody's business all the time, which in 2011 got him this award, the Mother Hen Award. And sitting next to Mitchell for 3 years will do a lot for your self-esteem. And for your self-esteem, I mean, will shatter it. Because let's face it, Mitchell and Jacob, well, I shouldn't say Mitchell and Mitchell was not nice to Jacob. Ever. Ever. Would always just, well, he would basically remind him that he's a mother hen, which last year earned him the Battered Wife Award. Well, Jacob, you're a senior now, and you're getting ready to go off into the world with all your other little old ladies, so you can sit around the table and nag and complain and, you know, play gin rummy and God only knows what else. So, in keeping with tradition, Jacob Erickson is hereby presented membership in the Red Hat Society.
Why are you shaking? Are the trimmers starting that early?
Now we're going to talk about stereotypes. You know, the beautiful thing about stereotypes is so often they're true. Black people are good at sports. Jews like me are cheap. I'm not really Jewish. And Asians are good at math. And video games. And playing instruments. And if you know Travis Collard, and he's good at math, and video games, and saxophone, but he's white. There's something wrong with that. I think somewhere deep down inside, deep inside, his blood type has to be Kikoman. For those of you that don't grocery shop, that's a soy sauce. And he doesn't drive because you can't drive a rickshaw, they have to be pulled. And he doesn't work because he's always in the rice paddy. Houston County High School Band presents Travis Collard with the, yeah, he's got to be Asian award.
I'm not going to ask what was just said, because it did not sound appropriate. I hope so.
Now there are some stereotypes that are not true, and then there are some that are. This next one is oh so true. And for this award, we have a video to prove my point. As soon as it gets ready. Good. Our light dimmer is not in the booth. Dustin, just stay there. Hey, Mr. Davis, can you look on the light board and where it says Grand Master, pull it to about 7?
Huh?
That's good. This stereotype. That's a great stereotype, Stacey. That's the Victoria stereotype.
Good woman's cat.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lanes? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
Now, there are 2 stereotypes in that one, but we're not talking about Asians. We're talking about women that can't drive. I've ridden with some terrible female drivers. First, my great-grandmother. When I was like 6, she was like 70. And my parents would entrust her to babysit me. And they would also entrust her to take me to McDonald's at the age of 70. Her, not me. And she lived in a house that had a driveway that was about this wide. But her car was about this wide. And every time she pulled the driveway, she almost hit the house next door. Then there was my grandmother, who thought you could make a left-hand turn from the furthest lane to the right, even if it meant turning across traffic that was traveling the same direction that you were. And then there's my mother. I love my mother, but I hate riding with her. She, like Logan, needs 30 extra minutes to get anywhere because she is unaware that women are actually legally allowed to use the gas pedal. And I hate driving with her, too. When I was sick back in September, I had to drive to the doctor's appointment because she doesn't drive in Nashville.
At least she doesn't drive a weed eater.
It's paid for. Now, women drivers. Apparently, guys, back me up here. How many of us can multitask while we're driving? Okay? Eat while we're driving, talk on the phone while we're driving, shave while we're driving, change clothes while we're driving. I can do all those things. Granted, I've wrecked every car I've ever owned. None of them have been my fault. But apparently, eating and driving breakfast that consists of a peanut butter and banana bagel, or spitting your cum out the window, means that you're going to wreck your car. Apparently the following action requires massive swervage all over the place on this road. You ready? You ready? Or spitting gum out the window. I guess you must have turned your head the same direction the steering wheel went. So, as such, the Houston County High School Band presents Tessa Ross and Autumn Hughes with the Fueling the Stereotype Award. I'm not going to come in here. Y'all, I'm afraid I might get wrecked.
Be careful going down.
A minute ago, I mentioned a trip where several of us went to Tennessee Tech, and we stayed overnight in Nashville. Well, the beautiful thing about going on band trips is that at some point you get tired of sitting in the hotel, and you find the nearest Walmart. Yay, Walmart. Well, you take 4 high school kids to Walmart. Where's the first section they're going to run to? The toys. And you would think after taking Jordan and Logan to Walmart in Murfreesboro several years ago that I would have learned my lesson when they began beating each other with Nerf battle axes. But they wanted to go to Walmart, so I said, what the heck? Well, we're, of course, in the toy aisle, and some poor schmo that works at Walmart left a bicycle on the floor. And I'm not talking about like a nice mountain bike or, a road. No. It was like, a little kid's bike. Like John Clay size. The bike he's riding now is much larger than this one. And this bike is laying on the ground, and Mary Mac runs over to it, despite me saying, no, get off that bike. Don't you dare get on that bike. Mary Mac, you stop driving that bike. And she takes off like a shot. Not up the aisle like front to back, but like from the toy section towards the groceries. Why the groceries, I have no idea. But when she got to electronics, apparently she needed a DVD player or wanted to put a television in the basket up front, and she makes a hard right into electronics. Nick is running behind her with his phone trying to videotape it, and we can't keep up with it. Like, she's got the pedal to, she's doing a good 7-8 miles an hour. And, I mean, she's flying through the electronics. Well, finally, she sees an employee that works there, and she just abandons the bike and then, like, runs into sporting goods, where they then found some skateboards. And I had to drag them away. Well, we're leaving the store, and the electronic doors open, and as we're walking out, Nick hits one of the doors and knocks them off the hinges. At this point, I'm just like, oh, sweet mother of God, get in the van. Because number one, it's the Walmart on Nolensville Road, which is a block away from Little Mexico, if you've ever been in that section of Nashville. And it's like 11:30 at night. But we've had a kid ride a bicycle through the store. We've had some kids jump on a skateboard in the store. And then we had a kid damage the store. But the funniest part was Mary Mac riding the bike. Houston County Band presents Mary Mac with the "I'll Get You, My Pretty" award. People are very proud of where they are from. I'm sure several of you years from now will be like, yes, I'm from Houston County, I'm from here, and I'm from Tennessee Ridge, I'm from wherever. I'm from Clarksville, I make no arguments about that, and I will tell people, yes, I'm from Clarksville. Until this year, however, I never met anyone who was proud to be from Dixon. Dixon. How many times can I say it until we're tired of it? Dixon. Well, in Dixon, we did it. Well, in Dixon. So tired of hearing about Dixon. No offense. Yes, that has more stuff than Erin, but Cody, it's Dixon. And you know,
Yeah,
you,
what my mama said.
You could be the spokesperson for Dixon. Just call the Chamber of Commerce. I'm sure they will give you a job. The Houston County High School Band presents Cody Elliott with the Dixon Award.
Hey, I'm proud to be where I'm from. I'm proud to be where I'm from.
Now, in every teacher's career, something major has to go wrong. And I had gone 10 years without anything majorly wrong. You know, all my kids have been alive, and none of them have been injured too severely. And every time we went somewhere, they all came back. Until this year. In 10 years, I have never forgotten anyone. Until this year. And when I finally forgot someone, it wasn't one person, oh no. It was two. Hold on. Now, combined, they have a 6'4" combined, not combined, but average height, 6'4", average, and a combined weight of right at 600 pounds. Now, Explain to me, please, how I missed them, but even more so, how an entire bus full of people who are supposed to be their friends and who saw them on the bus go to McEwen, but didn't see them on the bus going away from it. And it wouldn't have been so bad if we'd have been pulling out of the parking lot and be like, hey, Mr. Witt, we don't have Dustin and Alexander. Okay, stop the bus. No, we are on the road. It's like 10 minutes, and then, oh, hey, we forgot them. And of course, we're in the part of McEwen Highway where the only good place to turn around is a driveway. And you can't turn a bus around in a driveway unless you're Tammy Wimberly. But Tammy was not driving the boys' bus that evening. And so we had to go another 3 or 4 miles down the road before we were finally able to turn around and then go back the 15 minutes to go pick them up. And apparently the bus pulling to the side of the road, turning around, freaks everybody out behind us because every vehicle that was traveling with us also pulled to the side of the road. And I'm sure caused much plague and pestilence all throughout Humphreys County. The Houston County High School Band presents Alexander Coleman and Dustin Yazzie with the Now You See Me, Now You Don't. First, because of my height, apparently, as was demonstrated in that last report, but also because of my fluctuating weight. When I first started working here, I weighed a whopping 135 pounds. And then about 2 years ago, it swelled up to right about 200, and it's been going up and down. And then I got really sick back in September, and I'm back down to about 160. So, hooray! But But there are some people in this room who follow me around religiously, and idolize me, and just they whatever I say to them, they take to heart. And apparently, if I gain weight, then by God, they're going to also. Except when I lose the weight, they gain more. You can blame your mama for this one. Your mama was in on this one. She sent me the pictures that are on the certificate, yes. The Houston County High School Band presents Scott Smith with the I Found All the Weight Mr. Witt Lost Award. Stop sucking it.
Stop sucking it.
Look good.
At least he's still taller than
Hold on, stop. That was all Terry. I'm absolving myself of blame on that one. Last day of band camp. Last full day of band camp. We play a zombie game. Zombies versus zombie hunters. And at the end, last rehearsal, everyone's told to dress however they have ended up for the course of the day. It was a fun event. I think everybody had fun, but some people just carry it a little too far. Now, Food is a delicious thing. Food is good for eating. It is good for decorating. It is, in some cases, it's good for cleaning. And apparently, if you're our next award recipient, it's good for wearing. However, pepperonis are not a food that occurs naturally and have enough grease on them that you can actually stick them to your clothes in place of the other things that are underneath your clothes. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to try to keep it PG for the children in the audience. Because apparently, when you turn into a zombie, your nipples become pepperoni. And when the grease wears off the pepperoni and it goes to the ground, it is still apparently okay, even though it has been on your sweaty chest and on the dirty ground. Apparently it's still okay to eat that pepperoni. Even after you wrestle it away from the Van Camp dog. The Houston County High School Band presents Vince Maggin with the Who Needs Pizza Hut Award. Hey, we're minis. I feel very uncomfortable. Do you need a moment to cue this next thing? Okay. This next one has a lot of media involved with it, so just please be patient. You could win a new car! Alright, let's have a look at our newest game. Now, how do you play Starbucks or Screamo, you ask? We're going to play a recording. And all you have to do is tell me, is it the ramblings of today's top Screamo groups? Or is it a coffee maker? Because, well, let's face it, don't they sound the same? Here is example number 1. Maybe. Not hard to tell, right? Here's example number 2. That's the sound of a broken coffee maker. And then, round number 3. sound like a coffee maker? Well, this individual doesn't win a new car, but the Houston County Band does present Nick Moore with the Human Espresso Machine Award.
Couldn't have found a better clip.
Don't blame me. Do not laugh at the high clippers about this one either.
And that concludes the gag awards this evening. It is now time for the senior roast. Now, we have pictures of some of our seniors that are not with us this evening. We're just going to go through those. And then, if you're a senior and you are here, you will have to take your seats in the hot seat, as it were. Okay? I think we need more than one computer next year.
HP.
Dustin, don't dim the lights too much. I've got stuff I got to read.
I am over here.
Oh, okay. Whoever's playing the lights. Okay. Now we're just going to show some pictures of our seniors that are not with us. There's the senior class right there. And there's some more of the senior class. Just some random pictures of the seniors. I think that's when Logan was in 8th grade. It's kind of ironic we did the planets this year. Alexander's head is as big as one. Jake's wishing for a hover round in that picture. There's the train wreck. Okay, just scroll through these. I never want to have a picture like that again. All right, Mr. Elliott, you're up first. Now, Now, unfortunately, I don't have a lot I can say about Cody because he just moved here this past year, so I will do the best that I can. So there's a nowadays picture. Let's take a look. That's a 5-head. Okay, now, everybody look at Santa Claus. That is a scary, scary Santa Claus. But that's not even a Walmart Santa. That's like a Dollar General Santa. That's a Family Dollar Santa. He's scary. Cody don't care though, it's Santa Claus. Look, oh, the Power Rangers censored the nipples, that's good. Look, Vince, you have something you can use next year. Power Ranger figures. That's one of those get your face on a magazine cover things. Cody, you work a consistent look. But you know that one is in there. Oh, there's Charlie Daniels.
And Polly Dine.
I have no clue who that is.
Daddy's hands.
Okay, then doing into this year. Okay, is that it? His pictures? Yeah. Yeah, Cody, like I said, unfortunately, you're here for a year, so we didn't get to really know you that well. But one thing I think that people can say about Cody is that he has a huge heart. And he loves people, you love people, and you have a great personality, and you're a very genuine individual, and you're a very caring individual, and I don't think a lot of people get to see that. And if you were at Senior Awards last night, you know, but if you weren't at Senior Awards, I will tell you, Cody is going to Martin Methodist University in Pulaski. That's Pulaski, right?
Yes, sir.
And last night he was awarded a $32,000 scholarship. So we kid him about being from Dixon. But when it's all said and done, he's Irish through and through. And it's been a pleasure having you here this year. I hope you've enjoyed it. I wish there was more I could say, but again, you can't really get to know somebody in 8 months very well. So I appreciate your work this year. Thank you very much. Steven. I'm sure there's a joke there that I don't need to know about.
It's okay, I already got it.
The what?
I already got it.
All right. Yeah, Steven's hair has changed more than just about anybody's that's come through this program. Now, you can't make fun of that picture. That looks like it's post-surgery. So, I won't say anything about that. There's the family. Steven, you look like you're about ready to eat both of them. Okay, not sure what that is. That looks like a bad ultrasound. Okay, now stop right there. Stop right there. Now, I'm not sure what he's eating.
Cake.
But, okay, well, you can say it's cake all you want. But if you look at the seat of the high chair. I'm not an expert, but that doesn't look like frosting. I can't say anything. I used to poop in my toy box and then play with the turd balls and throw them away. I can't say anything. Okay? Steven, is that cake too?
I don't know. Spaghetti.
I am so scared right now. That's like a Blair Witch Project for kids.
That was like the first time I ever went over to Richard's house.
Steven!
You know how scared he was?
Hold on, wait, go back to that picture, Stacy. Hold on, go back. He said that's the first time he ever went to Richard's house, and that's the face you make? So, I'm so scared. I I see black people. Continue.
Actually, he was in his room by himself and took a picture of himself because he was scared of the dog.
All right. Those fat sunburned cheeks. You always had sunburned cheeks. Did you get sun poisoning one year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Moonburn. There is such a thing, actually. Okay. Mouth wide open, mouth full of teeth. You were such an adorable child. What happened?
I met you.
Miss Stephen and his mom. Is that it? Okay. Now, I have a letter.
Oh God.
Stephen is something else. From the moment I found out about him, he changed my life. I swore up and down that I didn't care if the baby was a boy or a girl. I was going to play dress up, have tea parties, and play house with it. Lucky for him, I didn't. He is a turd. You know, and she probably didn't see these pictures either. Didn't know that he had moved to his high chair. He is a turd, period. My proof is that the first day I ever met him, still in the hospital, the first thing he did was poop in our mom's, I'm noticing a trend here, poop in our mom's hand. Guess he figured he would be trouble from the beginning, and he has lived up to this all his life. I fell and loved him because he was so cute at first. He somehow has a girlfriend now. Not sure how he did that, but he does.
She bites.
She did. That's for Houston County Band Banquet after hours. She is great, but of course, to stand up for his first, she is great, but of course, to stand up to his first love, she would have to be. Stephen was in love with Shania Twain. I still remember the day he informed our Nana that he loved the video that she strips in. Our Nana had a cow until we showed her the video of Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Preparing for a cross-dressing career, are we? Stephen has me and 2 other sisters. When we found out about Aaron, he was young and begged for a brother, but was happy with a sister. For our younger sister, Kaylee, we thought she was a boy up until the day she was born. Don't they have ultrasounds that tell you that? Up until the day she was born. I remember that day well. Stephen went to school. I stayed home to watch Aaron. While Stephen was at school, I received a call starting to look for girl names. I was then told that once Stephen got home, we would go see our new sister. Stephen got off the bus, and I met him in the driveway of our home. He comes running up the hill yelling, "Do I have a baby brother yet?" As he's about halfway up the hill, I respond with, "No." He stops. "Didn't Mama have the baby yet?" he asked. "Yes." He looks at me puzzled. "Mama had a girl, not a boy. You have another sister," I tell him, with which he sits down in the driveway and cries. Okay? Then there's some scribble on here, and I'll make the best of it. Right in the middle of church, Stephen gave Mama the diamond cut that's in her head when she hit the pew. Boy, was she mad.
She wrote that, not me.
So blame Stephen. You injured your mother?
In church.
In church?
Her prayer. A silent prayer at that.
All right. He is funny about his religion, or what he feels is his religion. He is a Polak. We called him this one day, and he became upset and started yelling at us to stop making fun of my religion. We couldn't help but laugh at him, which made him yell more. Finally, we explained what a Polak was. I've always loved picking on my baby brother. Can't say little anymore, seeing as how he's taller than I am. But no matter how big he gets, he will always be my baby brother. I have blackmailed him and pulled pranks on him, but he's kept life interesting. I've caught him having tea parties with his niece, Puke, and playing with his dolls. Oh, excuse me, playing with dolls, not his dolls. It's those faceless courtroom dolls. Putting on makeup and wearing high heels, even a dress or two. See, cross-dressing career. He was a Cub Scout, played baseball, was in band, an explorer, and still has to decide what he will be in life. He wasn't dealt the best hand, but he's made the best of it he could. He has been a pain in the butt to a lot of people and done some things that should have never been mentioned in public or private for that matter. Thank you. I bawled like a baby when he graduated from middle school. I'm terrified of the fool I will make of myself at his graduation this year. I am so proud of my baby brother. He has made it farther than a lot of people ever thought he would. Congratulations, baby brother. I love you. That was written by your sister, Jolynn. Now, Stephen, if you didn't know, in 2008 we did the Beatles show, Stephen was part of the train wreck, which consisted of Stephen, Richard, and Sean Fessler. And it was the worst group of 3 kids standing in a line trying to march that I've ever seen in my entire life. And that's what they were referred to throughout the course of it was Stephen and Richard's 8th grade year. But Stephen was always one of those people that you could count on to cover a part. Even when he had his braces put on this summer, he said, you know what, I'll play third trumpet. It's not as high as the other parts, just put me where you need me. And he was very faithful to work that part. He was really good with helping the baby trumpets this year. And you have a family that does love you very much, as Jolynn just so eloquently wrote. I appreciate the help you give us from your tech. He's a techie. I'm surprised he didn't go and work on all the tech stuff when it was malfunctioning earlier. But Stephen has been just an asset to the program because he's been faithful and he's been here. There was some issues with the spring, and I'm aware of that, but even though he wasn't in the band class this spring, he still was ready to give a helping hand wherever it was needed, especially where the Civil War concert was concerned. If you were here that night, you know how much stuff had to happen in order to make that happen. What are you doing yet? Do you know when you graduate?
Probably computer science.
Computer science, there you go, technology. So Stephen, best of luck to you in all of your future endeavors, and it has been a definite pleasure. Thank you very much.
Am I done now?
Thomas. Yeah, that was last year's Irish parade when it was like 90 degrees outside, and Thomas refused to stop. And that's what happens. So let's look at some pictures, shall we? Everybody's got to have a bathtub picture, and that's like George Washington and Bubbles right there. Wow. Oh, hold on, is that a mullet? Do you have a ponytail in that picture? Or just
I don't remember.
I work really hard because I'm no fun. And is that the same creek that got to your house a couple years ago, or is that a different one?
Yeah, it's the same.
Nice. And look, it's a Chinese baby playing guitar. Naked. Hey, get that dog away from him. Chinese people eat dogs. That's a cute dog. He looks hungry. Oh, how precious. That's an accident waiting to happen.
It was.
Hold on, wait, go back. Where's the front of the van? Like, I see a tent there, but like you don't even see a shadow of the van. The van hit the tent. That is the only explanation. And it looks like the tent deployed an airbag. That's awesome. That's a cute dog, too. Okay. There's dinner, and Thomas Johnny Depp Jackson. Christy would fall in love. Not Christy Ross, a different Christy. And, oh, we're sweating, and, well, no wonder you couldn't breathe. Your chin strap's in your mouth. That's not where it's supposed to be. Ah, that's where I wish I was, on the beach. Is that it? Now, Stacy tried to get a hold of your sister to see if she could give us some dirt, but we never got any dirt back from her, so you're very lucky. I don't think there's anybody in the room that can honestly say they don't like Thomas Jackson. I think from a personality standpoint, Thomas has one of the most likable personalities you're going to come across. And you want to talk about somebody that all of us have counted on at some point or another in the last several years. How many things have you fixed, repaired, built, replaced? Thomas, if you have to take off any clothes to count to 20, right there. Thomas has been just absolutely terrific. You know, he's another one of those people that when something needed to be done, regardless of what it was, whether it was I need you to hit a triangle or I need you to build a music stand, all right, I got it. Just tell me what you need to do. And this semester, you know, concert band's not his thing, and you know, and he's very upfront with that. He likes marching band, but he came to me and said, you know, I don't really want to play in concert band, but if you need me to be a teacher's aide, I'll be a teacher's aide. And he saved us a lot this semester, early on in the semester. A lot of the Civil War concert, a lot of that was done behind the scenes by this gentleman, and he was just a huge help. Tommy, yeah, he's going, or you're going to, it's Embry-Riddle, is that what it's called, in Arizona?
Yes.
Okay, so you better make sure you say your goodbyes to Thomas because he is going thousands of miles away. And he's actually going to be studying the very thing that he's already good at, mechanics and repairing things, and I'm sure he will make a ton of money doing that at some point in the future because he's just so good at it. You have been an absolute pleasure for the last 6 years. You're just a blast. You're a great kid, and I know that you're going to do wonderful, wonderful things in your future. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thomas Jackson. Is he hiding?
He's hiding.
Oh, big shock. Is he yelling at Austin?
Our mother. Oh. Are you with mom?
Oh, God help me.
God help us all. All right, so let's look at some pictures of Dallas. Oh, look, isn't that precious? Now, you know, if you've ever been around Austin or Dallas, you've talked to Austin or Dallas, and you spend any time with Austin or Dallas, it's hard to believe that Dallas is the older brother. And that picture shows it right there. That's it. Dallas, you don't look like you've slept in about a week in that picture.
Don't commit it up.
Look, Mary Mac, there's a bike for you to speed up. Are you talking on the phone? Is there a phone on your ears? That's the overall strap. Like, wow. You know, I think I've seen that picture before. I think that picture is actually used in the Ghostbusters movie. Hank Green, call it Slimer.
I don't remember
Oh.
any of those.
What happened? Okay, that's your senior picture, I guess. Okay, I didn't get any dirt on Dallas either, but I'm sure, you know, if we let Austin come up here, but we're not going to. We're not.
Sit down!
You know, Dallas and Austin, you know, we talked about siblings earlier. The two of them argue all the time, and they fight all the time. But I know from being around them, and I know that most of you do too, the two of them love each other more probably than a pair of brothers probably ever could. I've seen them both get very upset when the other one something was happening to the other one. And you may not realize it now, gentlemen, but y'all will be each other's best friend, I promise. Even though you're only a couple of months apart. Trust me, Dallas. What can we say about Dallas? Naive. His favorite drink is Yoo-Hoo. Some of you may know it.
That's awesome.
Excuse me, a chocolate salt drink.
Oh.
There we go. But when Dallas first got to me, in the 7th grade, everybody else was showing up with their nice brass-colored instruments, silver-colored flutes, black clarinets, and then there's Dallas's, a bright purple, like Barbie purple clarinet. That was some brand I've never even heard of. First Act for Walmart would have been an improvement over this one. And it didn't make a sound. And poor Dallas tried all he could. No. Well, he finally got him a clarinet that worked, and he was about 6 months behind. Yeah, you see the purple in his tie? That's about the color of his clarinet. He actually made that tie out of his clarinet. And he was behind for a long, long time. And it just goes to show you that no matter how far behind you get, no matter how terrible you may think you're doing and how bad you think you are, perseverance pays off.
What does that mean?
Means that you worked at it. Somebody get this kid a dictionary. Perseverance pays off. And he went from not having a clue when he was in 8th grade to sitting principal this year. And I don't think any musician, everybody improves. Everybody improves from the beginning. And we all improve at different paces. But Dallas, overall, from where he was when he got into high school to where he is now, such improvement. And that's something that you will always have for the rest of your life, is that you persevered, you stayed with it, and you made something out of it. And that is something that I, as your teacher, am very proud of, and that you, as an instrumentalist, should be very proud of. That you fought the odds, and you overcame them, and you went from very bottom of the section to the very top of the section. And believe it or not, you will be missed next year. Your presence will be missed next year, and you do have people who care about you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Halliburton. Next. Come on, Richard.
Hey, Daddy.
If you were my kid, I would put you up for adoption.
I take it.
You mean every word.
Do what? The only thing I can see in that picture is teeth. Aww. You know, the sad thing about Richard graduating is that Tammy's graduating too. Tammy enjoys. Well, I know. You're still going to be driving my bus.
Yeah.
You ain't got no choice. Oh, it's a little Tootsie Roll. Who is that? Kevin? Okay, I can't tell because there's a glare.
I'm white.
Oh man, I don't look like Richard. I look like little Richard. Eating, what a mess. Now hold on a second. Hold on a second. Keeping with the stereotypes. That is a chicken bone. That is a chicken bone. How old are you in that picture? You barely have enough teeth to chew chicken.
I think I might have been like 3 months.
3 months old, is that what you said? Now hold on. Yeah, now wonder what he's looking for. I bet he's like, man, that chicken was good. I need some purple drink. I guess we love that pic. Or is that the last one? Okay. Now see, the one with the pacifier, that definitely tell that's Richard. The one up top looks like he ran into a window. And the one on the bottom looks like you're taking. Oh. Yeah, you definitely tell that's Richard. All your smiles look the same. Give yourself bunny ears in the picture. There's the family picture. Now that's right about when y'all moved here, isn't it? Pretty close? Yeah. There's Wesley down in the lower left-hand corner. Oh, and then the fat pictures. Those cheeks. Old Man River, that old. Hey, Steven, did you have something to do with that outfit?
Actually, I think these are both done.
That's terrific. And of course, Richard's going to Western Kentucky to be a meteorologist.
It was snowing.
Thank you. You know, being a weatherman is the only job where you can be wrong 50% of the time and still keep your job.
Oh yes.
Okay? That's a nice shirt. I need to borrow that.
No.
All right. Now, Richard, your mama and Joy didn't give me anything either.
Oh, good.
But anybody that knows Richard, stories don't have to be told because, well, it's Richard. The Wimberly family, Richard's the second Wimberly to come through. We had Wesley a few years ago. And Richard, I feel like you may have felt like you were always living in Wesley's shadow.
Oh.
And excuse me. Don't remember eating that. Do what?
I found myself saying that a couple of times.
Oh, no, sir. I'm glad I'm the only one that heard that.
Those days at band camp.
Oh, stop it. But, you know, yeah, yes, Wesley was your big brother, and Wesley came to the program first, but I don't think that you're living in Wesley's shadow. You two, while you are brothers and you're very similar, your personalities are very, very different. You are a lot more mischievous than Wesley, I think, ever dreamed of being. Is that a fair assessment? And apparently you like to cross-dress, which I never saw Wesley dressed as a woman, thank God. But, you know, Richard, very rarely are kids just so die-hard marching band. Richard thinks marching band's the do-all, be-all, end-all of musical experiences, and boy, are you wrong.
Oh, you know.
I'm as sorry as I can be. But Richard, you know, when he signed up for band, Wesley had already played percussion. And his two older brothers, Keith and Kevin, played percussion. And then Richard got trumpet. Well, guess who wasn't happy about Richard getting trumpet? Richard's mom. She comes up to me one day and she's like, Mr. Witt, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I said, why, Miss Sam? She said, that boy is blowing on his trumpet at 3 o'clock in the morning. Next time he starts playing that, I'm going to call you and I'm going to wake you up and make you listen to it. I said, it's bad enough that Wesley goes around with those drumsticks beating all over my furniture, leaving dibs at my table, beating on my couch cushion. Now Richard is blowing that trumpet at 3 o'clock in the morning. He never said, but Mr. Witt says I need to practice. Throwing me under the bus. Thank you, Richard. But Richard, you know, you never know what to expect with Richard. Richard, like Wesley, liked to wear his pant legs a little higher than they should be, like up to here. Thank God his shirt was long, or else we would have saw what the stork saw. But Richard, seriously, you have been just absolutely terrific. I think you and James, whoever James is, made an absolutely outstanding pair of lead trumpets this year. Y'all were fabulous. And I know that your influence has been passed on to some of the younger trumpets. I hope Kaylee does not take on your personality.
Oh, it's too late.
Between now and
It's too late.
July.
It's too late.
But Richard, you know, I think the world of your family. I know a lot of people think the world of the Wimberleys, not just you, but you and Wesley and Tammy and Joy and Destiny and Keith and Kevin. Y'all have been around for so long. It's going to be very strange not having a Wimberley.
Well, you got a guest room I can stay in.
No.
Oh.
That's quite a commute for Bowling Green. But it's going to be very strange not having a Wimberley in the program. And I know that Wesley had a profound influence on some of our percussionists, and I know that you had an influence on some of our trumpet players. And Miss Tammy's just the best at driving the bus. So, not just Richard, but the entire Wimberley family. Come on, Alexander, give me a turn.
Oh yeah,
Now, I've seen Alexander's pictures. Wow. Got started at an early age. We are Santa's elves. Now that, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that you know, the Pooh shirt, that could almost be Victoria. And there's the whole family. Now here's the funny thing about this. Like, now of course, you know, John Clay is all excited because there's Mickey Mouse, and Catherine's all excited because it's Mickey Mouse, and Victoria, for some reason, has her head turned almost 90 degrees. But then there's Alexander, like, look at me, I'm at Disney World. And he has an autograph book. Alexander, you're old enough at this point to know that those are people in costumes, yet you have an autograph.
Had to get them.
Oh, okay, all right.
Touch them all.
And then, hold on. Victoria, Catherine, and Alexander all have matching outfits that are, you know, somewhat the same color. And Alexander, I don't know what is going through your mind in that picture. It looks like he just took a dump on John Clay. But why is John, there's been a theme with that this evening. Why is John Clay the odd man out? I mean, blue, not blue. Then lots of family photos. And then, yeah, Alexander was about 2 weeks old in this picture right here. Yeah, now, these two are cousins. Look at the size difference. That's ridiculous. Okay, now,
Oh my
you can
God.
thank Mary Mac and Victoria for this. Alexander, more commonly known as Bubba, has been my older brother for 16 years. It's been a crazy 16 years, but I've had a ton of fun with him. Together, we were inseparable, like Pooh Bear and Piglet. Okay, I think we saw that picture earlier. We may fight and get angry at each other, but we both know that we were always there for each other in the end. Now that the soppy stuff is out of the way, we can get to some of the embarrassing stories, which, by the way, are in no sequential order. That's good because the pictures have already been shown. I hope you don't plan to become a beautician. This story takes place when Bubba was about 5 years old. That left me about 3 and a half, almost 4. We were playing around out in the garage when Bubba found Daddy's drill. We got curious, so Bubba pulled the trigger a few times to make it spin. This is Victoria talking, in case you haven't figured it out. I was fascinated with it. Somewhere in between, Bubba thought it would be a great idea to stick the drill in my long, thick hair and wind it up. He managed to wrap a large portion of hair that Daddy refused to cut. Instead, Daddy spent 2 hours unwinding my hair. Being the Coleman my brother is, he could not learn how not to make the same mistake twice. He got my hair tangled up a second time, not long after the drill, but this time in an RC car. You know, the ones with the remote control and the back wheels that spin really fast. He put the rear wheels in my hair and let it roll. Yet again, Daddy didn't cut my hair and spent another 2 hours to get it undone. I'm not going to read all these, but I was told that I had to read Owlman. On Animal Planet, there was a show called Lost Tapes. The show featured real tapes of various monsters such as Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and other mythical creatures. One episode Bubba and I watched was called Death Raptor or Owlman. The creature was a human-like owl monster that was able to carry off humans and eat them. After the episode was over, we had to go feed a bottle cap in the dark. The entire way out to the bar, Bubba clung to me like a scared child, shining the flashlight at the trees every 3 seconds like Owlman was going to swoop down any second and carry him off and eat him. Come on, he's 6'6" and a rather large person. And if he was paying attention, nothing in the video was real. It took place in California. After hounding him to death about it for a while, we gradually forgot about it until one day a Captain Morgan commercial aired. One guy had an owl mask on, jumped out of a tree all of a sudden, which scared the bejeebies out of Alexander. At that point, I remembered and began teasing him again. One other thing with Alexander that we typically do with our drum majors, when they're 10 years drum majors up, we present them a certificate because the drum major is one of the hardest jobs that you have as part of the Houston County Band program. So in addition to saying thank you for your years of work playing saxophone and everything else I've had you do, also for your dedication and commitment as drum major for the last 2 years. It's been a pleasure. I'm not going to come over there because you've already towered over me once this evening and I don't want to feel short again. Congratulations, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex. We should get Mitchell up here for this one.
No.
Now, and I've seen pictures of Jacob before when he was a baby, but I never would have guessed that he had jet black hair. And for those who've never seen him, that's Jacob's dad. Okay, hold on. Is Jacob on the left? Is that Jacob on the left and Colby on the right?
No, that's for Jacob.
Oh, those are both Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there's a split there. I didn't see it. Okay. All right. Jacob, all your pictures, your eyes are closed. What's this all about? We're perching on the refrigerator, ladies and gentlemen. Care to explain what's going on in this picture?
I would always take my diaper off. And so they had to tape it on me. And when
That's terrific. Even though he's dressed like a pilgrim, secretly he wanted to be the bird. And it gets started from an early age. Nice. There's the pair right there, Jacob and Mitchell. And the Stooges. All right, is that it? Okay, now, your mother sent me this one, so you can blame her. Ever since Jacob was born, he did things his own way. Of course, that's why we love him so much, but it also makes for some really funny stuff. When he started to talk, he couldn't say anything that you could understand except Mom, Dad, and a few choice words that we won't say out loud. Still settling. We once had to leave Walmart because Jacob got mad. The only words you could understand coming out of the 3-year-old's mouth were the really bad ones. He once told me that he wanted to go to the OOZ, O-O-Z, and he wanted me to IPS, I-P-Z, his coat. We figured out finally that he wanted to go to the zoo and for me to zip his coat. Yet still, the bad words were plenty. The only ones you could understand. Fortunately, a little soap on the tongue took care of that problem. One trip to Walmart with Jacob left me embarrassed. He wouldn't sit in the cart and be still so I could finish my shopping. He knocked the shopping cart over and fell out of it on the floor. It didn't hurt him, but it made me mad, and he needed a spanking for not listening to me when I told him to sit down. So I leaned in and whispered to him, "Sit down and be quiet!" It was capitalized. Or I was going to whip him in front of everyone in the store. Then I pinched his ear a little. Needless to say, he did not like that. He was so mad at me. He started yelling all over the store to anyone who would look at him. "She pinched my ear. She pinched my ear." And he told one lady, see, he's nagging, you know. And he told one lady, her thumped my ear. He was telling everyone we saw that I pinched him and thumped his ear. I couldn't get out of the store fast enough. When Jacob started playing video games, that is when he really started to not listen to anything. He heard nothing around him except video games. His sister, Colby, was about 4 months old, and I asked him to go to the kitchen and get me the baby's bottle. Jacob went, I think you know the story. Jacob went off to get it, I thought, but he brought me a roll of toilet paper. No, it was a baby bottle. I asked him what he was bringing me the toilet paper for. And he swore that's what I sent him after. Now I'm sitting here with a 4-month-old screaming baby and asking him to bring me the toilet paper? No, you didn't listen. He was 9 when we told him to stop throwing a screwdriver into the ground to make it stick because he was going to hit his foot. And what did Jacob do? He tried to throw it one more time, and it stuck in the top of his foot, off in the emergency room. It left him with 10 stitches. He learned to drive an old stick shift truck at the age of